Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin. We've got a CoinsKid crew. So, as posted on the thumbnail right there, this is why I've took a bit of profit right now from my crypto projects. Done really, really well since June. And, you've got to pay yourself sometimes. So it doesn't mean that I'm a perma bear or anything like this. It's just profit taking, and it could be wrong. We could ramp up here and everything be really gravy. But, it's just certain confluences in charts. And right now, if you remember a few weeks ago, as this was looking really toppy, we've got this double top, this big ABC correction, like I said to you on the DXY, coming back down to this trend line. Okay, so for me right now, this is a very strong area of support for the DXY. If we get a little bounce here, this is a good area to take profit and actually short crypto. So this is why I've took a bit of profit and I've actually gone short at the moment with with a very, very minimal stop loss on Bitcoin, because it's riding the waves. This is what I teach you on the channel. Okay, just apply a bit of common sense, don't be greedy. So right now, this thing's got 3 points of contact in this potential broadening channel, okay? And right now, we're coming back again to this level of support, which has always been this support here. Now, a really, really bearish thing we could see for the DXY, which would ultimately be bullish for crypto, would be a close below that 10 EMA, okay? So this is why, personally, I've took a bit of profit right now, I do me, you do you. I'm not your financial advisor, but I always try and identify the opportunities for us. So I've actually gone short on Bitcoin. I'll show you why in a moment. But, I'm just looking for Bitcoin to retrace, not crash to oblivion. But one thing that's sort of indication of this is this overextension for the DXY right now on the hourly time frame. So I'll show you that in a moment. But if we start to see the close here below the 10 EMA on the weekly time frame for the DXY, I think that could be a massive looking glass. Okay, regardless of this thing coming up and doing something like that, and Bitcoin retraces again, I think that this could potentially spell that this is a big correction coming back down, where you're going to start to lose key levels of structure and support here for the DXY because you're very extended because of the big gaps in the EMAs. Obviously, like I've said to you many times, is not always identification of that. Equally with the RSI, creating bearish divergence as well, multiple from there to there to there. It's always an indication that you're cooked, basically. And it doesn't mean 100% it is cooked, but this is. If this comes down and this retraces, this is healthy for crypto, because this is why crypto is ramping up, because of this big pullback this week on the DXY. Okay, so this is coming down to a key level support right now, this green trend line, and primarily the 20 EMA. So if this gets wicked down, starts to come back up, you will see a bit of a pullback and a drawdown on crypto right there. Okay, so if this thing comes up and then drops again, this is really bearish for the DXY, and it would see a breakdown here and to this 55 EMA and to this point of contact around about 101, but that would be really, really bullish for crypto and would indicate a massive ramp up right there. Okay, so the bearish scenario for Bitcoin and crypto is the fact that this could just find support here, not even have a retest of the 20, which is not necessarily back tested all the way since January this year, which is really overextended in my opinion. Okay, it might not even do it, and then it starts to come up again. And if you take out that high, that is super bullish for the DXY, and it's extremely bearish for crypto. Okay, so this is why at this point here I've actually took a bit of profit, paid yourself, because that's what you got to do, but I'm not your financial advisor. So right now you can see that the precursor to a big bearish scenario and a big correction here for the DXY is losing the parabola of the EMAs. Look at that. You've been constantly holding this 10 EMA for ages. Look at that, since you closed above it way back there in February and January this year. Look, you've never closed below it. So right now, if we get the weekly close, which is in a day's time for the DXY, because it closed on a Friday, then that's a really bearish statement for me, because you're closing below support, and regardless of coming up and making a lower high, for me I think that the job's done. Basically, we've got the looking glass, because you're closing, like I said to you, you close below support on the EMAs, your next EMA is your target, close below that, your next EMA is your target, and this thing will start to slowly but surely retrace, which is healthy for this, okay, because it's taking off. But this retracement is healthy for Bitcoin and crypto. Okay, so let's keep an eye on this going forward. So why have I took profit? So on the hourly time frame, if we take a look right now, you can see the overextension on the EMAs. Okay, look at that. So I think that this thing is trying to carve out some kind of structural bottom right here, which we'll see come up to the 55 EMA at least, okay, over the next few days. So if that is the case, this thing should bounce here, and that would be a good place to short crypto, short Bitcoin, make a bit of money on the inverse side there, and take a bit of profit on your longs, basically. So if this thing does ramp up, and this is the low, and all you've done is retrace to the green trend line, okay, on the weekly time frame, and this is super bullish, you've had a retouch, and you go again, well, you've paid yourself. And this is how it all works, okay, because there's absolutely no guarantees that this thing won't or will do this. Okay, so this is why you always sort of try and find any confluence and opportunities in other charts, not just the chart you're looking at, to sort of stack up to say pay yourself, go short or go long basically. And this is why I'm just relaying this to you, okay? Not perma bear, not perma bull, whatever. It's just trading the ranges, and this is something I do on the channel, okay? So right now, if we take a look at the correlation between this and Bitcoin, like I said to you many a times right now, I think this is overextended. It's not necessarily back tested its 20 EMA in a very long time, and you can see Bitcoin is the inverse correlation of that. You know, it's not back tested its 20 since way back there in April. So this is overextended. It does look as though it's trying to carve out some beautiful reversal pattern right now. If this does break down, okay, and it loses this green trend line and we come back down to this 20, you can see the inverse correlation between Bitcoin coming up to its 20 years resistance. And this is something I've been drilling on about for a very long time since we put in this top here. I said to you, I think the DXY is looking for a retest of the 20 EMA on the weekly time frame as support, where you can see it's almost there. And at this point here, I said to you, I think that Bitcoin is looking for its weekly 20 as resistance, and you can see it's almost there, isn't it? So if this thing does break down and loses its green trend line, for me, that could be a really bullish statement for the crypto markets right here, and it could indicate that this thing's about to break out explosively. Okay, so you know, I wish I could tell you 100% what it is going to do, but I can't. Okay, so right now, if we take a look at the hourly chart for the DXY, you can see, like I said to you, really overextended. You know, you're potentially carving out some kind of structural bottom where you're going to retrace into the 55. And if we take a look at the Bitcoin on the hourly chart, you can see just there you're quite overextended, and you've got big gaps again on your 55 to the upside. So it looks as though you might be creating some kind of, you know, top pattern here, some kind of descending triangle like this, which has a little bit of a breakdown coming back down to its 55. If this retracement holds and this bounces, super bullish scenario for Bitcoin and crypto. And you know, if the DXY comes up to its 55 and then goes again and loses that low, that's super bearish for the DXY, but super bullish for Bitcoin right here. Okay, so this is why I did post on Twitter yesterday. If you see the DXY starting to come up with bullish divergences, then you know, think about shorting the market and taking a bit of profit off the table basically. So you know, just there we have got a lovely little short set up, and I've posted this on Twitter this morning. It would be a good idea right now to put your stop loss on that high just there, which is the golden ratio. Let me give you this, okay? So again, you know, this is trading the ranges, finding opportunities, because right now if this thing does come down, you could go short on Bybit or BitGet. It's entirely up to you with your stop on 20870. And if this thing does come down, then I will be looking at a beautiful little retracement all the way back down to that level at least. Because what's happening here, if we zoom out on the daily time frame, I can show you that you run into the golden ratio right now, okay? So look, this is the high, this is your low, and what's happening is you're retracing to this. So you are running to the golden ratio. You can see you're getting a bit of a red candle today. So if this thing starts to retrace and comes back down, that could be a very strong level of support for you going forward. And this could be a lovely little short opportunity or a bit of, you know, area to take profit on any longs that you're currently in for Bitcoin, okay? So that's basically Bitcoin. I will give you a more detailed update tomorrow, but you know, for me, Bitcoin is looking pretty bullish. I'm going to show you another chart right now. So on this particular chart here, potentially here off this C leg, okay, we've got this Adam, we've got this E, which is a rounding bottom structure like that. So for me, I think one really bearish statement from Bitcoin here is if you start to come down, you turn this into resistance, that could indicate an impulsive move because you're losing this arch. Do you see this? Which is a potential Adam and Eve bottom like that, okay? Lovely little structure. So again, a precursor to being really bearish, do something like that. Personally, I'll think about my position in crypto long before losing these lows, okay, because you're losing this support right now. Do you see that? So, you know, again, we are breaking out. We've got this resistance. We are breaking out, potentially fall back to support, get some bids in, and then continue. Fantastic DXY rolls, amazing. And this thing starts to come up and ramp up and breaks out, and we've found a bottom basically for Bitcoin. I will keep you updated as best as I can, okay? Take care, everyone. Back soon with another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye-bye.